Hello everyone, if you don't know me already, I'm Tara the Dance Doctor. Welcome to my channel. In today's lesson, I'm going to be giving you 4 stationary variations on the bachata basics. So little ways that you can add a little bit of flavor to your bachata if you do find yourself in a situation in which you are dancing a stationary basic, which is a basic that does not move. You can spice it up a little bit by adding some different footwork and body actions into your dancing. And more than anything, it's just a fun way to learn some simple new movements and kind of get your creativity flowing on different things that you can add into your bachata. Really quick before we get into the lesson, just want to make sure that you give this video a like, subscribe to my channel, and turn on the post notifications so you can see when I upload more stuff like this. Now let's get dancing. Our first variation on the basic step looks like this. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, tap, 1, 2, 3, tap, 1, 2, 3, tap, 1, 2. We can also go 1 and 2 and 3, tap, 1 and 2 and 3, tap, 1 and 2 and 3, tap, 1 and 2 and 3, tap. So we'll be practicing both of those variations. The important thing in this first step is that we're creating a V shape between my partner and I, which I can do if he leads it, but I can also use this just on my own to create a little bit more dynamic in my dancing if we are doing our basic in place, okay? So because we're trying to create a V shape and not a straight line, the important thing as we do this step is that we go 1, 2, and we maintain a diagonal to what is our front here. We want to be careful that we're not opening up completely and doing this kind of like full agitation. And in order to help me maintain this, I'm going to keep my focus of my eyes forward. I'm not going to turn it with my body. So I'm going to go side, together, diagonal, tap. Side, together, diagonal, tap. Side, together, diagonal, tap. Side, together, diagonal, tap. Okay? Now, as I said, another variation on this, if you wanted to add some more rhythmic footwork to it, is to go 1 and 2 and is to go. We're going to get into it using our basic 1, 2, 3, tap. Now, once we've established our first angle, we're going to go 1 and 2 and 3, tap, step, tap, step, tap, step, tap. So I go side, tap together, together, tap together, side, tap together, okay? So I'm basically going 1 and 2 and 3, tap, but I'm doing that as I rotate, okay? So let's do the first variation. We go 1, 2, diagonal, tap, side, together, diagonal, tap, side, together, diagonal, tap, side, together, diagonal, tap. Now let's have that variation. 1 and 2 and 3, tap, 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 and we can go back into our basic, okay? Let's do that again, now starting with our basic steps. So we go 1, 2, 3, tap, 5, 6, here we go. 1, 2, change, tap, 1, 2, 3, tap, 1, 2, 3, tap, 1, 2, here we go. 1 and 2 and 3, tap, 1 and 2 and 3, tap, step, tap, step, tap, step, tap, step, tap, step, tap, step, and basic. 1, 2, 3, tap. One more time. Here we go. Side together, diagonal. Side together, diagonal. 2, 3, and 1, 2. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3. Tap. 1 and 2 and 3. Tap. 1 and 2 and 3. Tap. 1 and 2 and 3. Basic 1. All right, let's try that first variation now with music. Okay, moving on to our second variation. It looks like this. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and. Okay, so we are actually not using a tap at all in this variation. What I'm doing is I'm stepping forward, crossing this foot in front, replacing the foot back, and then sliding it in to transfer my weight. And then I do the same thing on the other side. Step forward, cross, forward, slide together. Forward, cross, forward, slide together. Forward, cross, forward, slide together, okay? So I'm going to do it facing away now, starting with the right. Forward, cross, forward, together. Forward, cross, forward, together. So what you want to keep in mind here is that I'm not fully transferring my weight when I take my foot forward, because then I wouldn't be able to move it. So on all of these steps, I take my foot forward, I have the whole foot on the ground, but I am not transferring my weight, because then I need to cross it, and then I need to take it back out, and then I need to bring it together. So throughout, my weight is split, but like 60-40. I've got 60% on my back leg so that the moving leg can continue to move without too much resistance, okay? So let's try that again. I go forward, cross, forward, together. Forward, cross, forward, together. Forward, cross, forward, together. Forward, cross, forward, together. Let's try it from a basic now. We go 1, 2, 3, tap, 5, 6, here we go. 1, 2, 3, switch, 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7, and basic 2, 3, 5, 6, here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7, and basic. Okay, let's try the second variation now with music. Moving on to my third stationary variation, it looks like this. 1, 2, 3, tap, 5, 6, 7, tap. 1, 2, 3, tap, 5, 6, 7, tap. Okay, so what I'm doing is basically going tap, tap, step, tap, 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 step, tap, 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 step, tap, 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 step, tap. This on its own can be confusing in the beginning, even though it's technically pretty simple, because we tend to get confused about when it's a tap and when it is a weight transfer. And what makes that a little bit more confusing yet is that in this type of tap, it's kind of like a tap and release, in which I'm putting my foot down, I'm pressing into the ground, because I'm not just going tap, tap, step, tap, 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 step, tap. I'm trying to create hip action with that, which requires that I actually press into the ball of my foot as I do it. So I want to go ball, release, step, ball, release. Ball, release, step, tap. Ball, step, tap. Ball, step, tap. And you can do this right in place, or you can go out. It's up to you what kind of style you want to add to it, but the important thing is that we maintain the rhythm and the weight changes in the correct time with the music, okay? So let's try it with a basic, really slow. We go 1, 2, 3, tap, 5, 6, here we go. Tap, tap, step, tap, 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 step, and again. 1, 2, 3, tap, 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, step, tap, 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 step, tap, 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 step, tap, 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 step, basic. 1, 2, 3, tap, 5, 6, here we go. Tap, tap, step, tap, 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 step, tap, 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 step, tap, 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 step, tap, and basic. Okay, let's try our third variation now with music. Okay, and our final variation on a stationary basic looks like this. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7, and. Okay, so all I'm doing, I'm keeping my feet in place, and I'm going lift the left hip, lift the right side of the hip, lift the left, and lift the knee. Right side of the hip lifts, left side of the hip lifts, right and knee. 1, 2, 3, and knee. 1, 2, 3, and knee. And as I do this, so I start here, obviously my weight's on my left. I'm going to gradually transfer it as I do the hips. So I go hip, 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 and knee. 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 Okay, so let's try that now from a basic. We go 1, 2, 3, tap, 5, 6, here we go. Hip, 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 and knee. Hip, 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 and knee. Hip, 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 and knee. Hip, hip, hip and knee and basic. 2, 3, and 5, 6. Here we go. Hip, hip, hip and knee, hip, hip, hip and knee, hip, hip, hip and knee, hip, hip, hip and knee and basic. Okay, so now let's try our final variation with music. Okay, so now that we have learned all 4 of our stationary basic variations, we're going to quickly put them together into a short practice routine for you so that you can really incorporate them into your muscle memory and then be able to dance them when you're out socially in a more seamless way, okay? So our routine, we start with the basic. 1, 2, 3, tap, 5, 6, 7, V. 1, 2, 3, tap, 5, 6, second variation, 1 and 2 and 3, tap, ending front and forward, 2, 3, tap, 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, tap, 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7, and 1. We go back to our basics. So we are just doing 2 of each variation in the order that we learn them, okay? So I'll practice it with you a couple times and then we will try it with music. We go 1, 2, 3, tap. Here we go, V. We go side together, diagonal. And now with the feet, 1 and 2 and 3, 5 and 6 and 7, ending front. We go forward, cross, forward and forward, forward and tap, tap, side, tap, 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 side, tap, in place, 2, 3, and knee, 5, 6, 7, and knee, and basic. And here we go again. We go 1, 2, 3, tap, 5, 6, syncopated feet, 1 and 2 and 3, tap, 5 and 6, and ending front. We go forward, cross, forward together, cross, together. We go tap, tap, step, tap, 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 step, tap, and 1, 2, 3, and knee, hip, 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 and knee, and basic. Last time, here we go. 1, 2, 3, tap, 5, 6, 7 feet. 1 and 2 and 3, tap, 5 and 6 and 7, and forward slide, and forward slide, and 1, 2, 3, tap, 5, 6, 7, tap, and hip, 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 and knee, hip, 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 and knee, and basic. All right, now let's try our practice routine with music. so much for joining me for today's lesson. I hope that you enjoyed it and you learned something. Don't hesitate to share this video with a dancing friend that you think would benefit from this information. And until next time, keep dancing.
Do you want to be able to do this? And this? And even this? Well, then you need to do this, and this, and even this. My 21-day Train Like a Dancer course gives you all the tools you need to transform into the dancer you've always wanted to be. Try the first 3 days free and see why dancers from all over the world are saying things like this, and this, and even this. Start training like a dancer today and unlock your true dancing potential. What are you waiting for?